one game and you're getting to know new teammates, et cetera. But what was the experience like for you, and how did you think you played personally?
Obviously, it didn't go the way we wish it did, but it's always difficult when you make big major changes like this team did, and you bring in players that will have a major impact on the team. So I think we're just early on, we're just kind of trying to figure each other out, and I think we're just sort of trying too much and not stepping each other's toes. So we're a little passive, and on the other hand, Spurs play great and they score very well. We couldn't get stops and we missed a lot of shots around. So it was tough, and then when you get in that big deficit, it's hard to play. But we stayed with it. I think it was good for us to kind of make that run the second half to build up some momentum, have some some positive things that we can carry on and learn from and watch film. So I think that, there's some good and some bad, but it was to be expected. And I think that we can all learn from it. And we knew it was going to be a process, as it was just going to happen overnight. So yeah, I think but I'm happy that we did make a push in the end, and that we did make that effort. It's always important to do that. As far as me personally, I mean, it was also a game for me where I needed to figure everything out, and there was a lot of things going on the last 2 days. But I think overall, it was pretty good for the first game. I was trying to find my teammates and get a feel for everything that we run and do. But I think that it was pretty good for the first game, and as the game went on, it was better. And I think there's some good things to carry on, like I said.
Thank you.
Cody Westerland, go ahead.
I was just curious. Billy was saying like he was concerned about the new guys not knowing some of the play calls, obviously, because it's such a quick turnaround. Like, how comfortable were you with what was being called and what was kind of being run, and just the playbook and what you'd learned so far?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they shortened really shortened the offense of what we're gonna run, and they sent me like the playbook last night, so I was able to get a feel for it and learn a little bit. And I felt like, I mean, it was I knew most of the plays that we called. Obviously, it's different knowing the actual play and actually getting the exact feel how to run it, getting the timing right and all those things. So I think that you could tell at times we're getting a little stagnant. We were like hesitant what to do. Maybe I had one of the guy. I think they're just normal because we haven't played together and we hadn't changed the practice or anything. So it's just like working on having a nice play. So, but I think that that the way their offense is, I think that won't take too long as far as me, just getting that feel for it, and everybody else that's new, because it's a lot of reads, a lot of easy basketball stuff they like to do, and I think as we get more time to practice and stuff, we'll be able to add on to it, and I think it should be good. But also, what's important is we figure out our defense. Obviously tonight it was good, so that's very important going forward.
Joe Cowley.
Nikola, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Hey, how do you make sure that guys, some of the fellow starters like Lowry and Zach, don't get out of their own game or their own comfort level to make sure, I got to get Vooch going. Is that something you guys will have to talk about, or do you think that's just going to come from playing together, that they're going to know, hey, do you, and I'll take care of my stuff, and because they haven't really played with a guy like you before?
I think it's a little bit of both. We have talked about it, and we'll obviously as the more we are together, but also part of it will just be going out there and playing our game. There probably will be certain things that would be a little different, but I think overall we have to do what makes us, good players. If we start trying to play differently, it's not going to help anybody. So I was talking with Zach. I felt like at times him and I were a little too passive and trying to figure out each other, and we made it easy for defense to where I feel like if we're maybe a little more aggressive, over aggressive, defense would collapse on us and be able to open up more things. So I think mainly all that it's all just repetition and playing together. Hopefully we have a chance. We don't have any back-to-backs, coming up, so we'll have some time to practice and get out there, even if it's just to run some offense, something like that. So all that will help. And the more games we play, the more we spend on the court together. That will help. And Coach Donovan asked me in the fourth quarter if I want to go out there and play, even though we're down big. And I was like, yeah, it's going to help me, get a feel for guys, get a feel for the offense. And, I think in the fourth we actually, played pretty well, and we made a run. So that was good to build up some momentum, like I said.
Rob Schaefer.
Nikola, you mentioned the second half run. What was kind of clicking for you guys as Billy brought you back for that kind of significant fourth quarter stretch? What did you think you guys found in that little spurt?
Well, first we were able to get some stops, which it was difficult in the first three quarters. There was scoring, and when you take the ball out of the net, it's just hard to get anything going. And I think just offensively, we weren't thinking as much, overthinking things as much. We're just playing. Everybody was kind of doing their thing and playing to their strength, and we're able to get good looks. And we made some shots. We also struggled a bit with shot making when we're getting good looks early in the game. So I think we just played more relaxed. We're just kind of playing our game, and each of us, and it worked. We were aggressive. We got some good buckets at the rim. We made some shots. All it takes is the ball go to the rim a few times, and you build up confidence. So I think it was just that. It was just we're playing more freely.
And you've mentioned the defensive end a few times. Did you think your guys' struggles there were, is that a product of guys learning how to play with each other, kind of a rhythm thing, or did you think there was something deeper? Kind of what did you think went awry defensively?
Part of it, for sure, was kind of like terminology. For example, for me, is very new. Like the way certain things are done are new, so I had to get adjusted to that. But I think just we weren't doing a good job, getting to the ball, and then those bigs helping and covering for each other and things like that. Just I think they were really aggressive coming at us, and we just didn't respond the way we need to, especially against Steve Santonio, who's very aggressive, driving to the rim, straight line drives and creating. So we just didn't respond to their aggressiveness. So it was a little bit of both. But I think that's something that if we play more aggressively, there are going to be mistakes. But when you're playing with more aggressiveness, you can cover some of those up.
Thank you.
Sam Smith.
Obviously, it's sort of orientation with all these new players, and you mentioned players like yourself and Zach and others getting used to one another offensively, and defensively. You mentioned about they score an awful lot in the paint early. Which component do you think is going to be more difficult, melding the offense or getting the defense coordinated? With all the new additions.
It's a good question. I think it's kind of going to be, both. Offensively, it's different because we're all kind of. I was used to playing one way. They're used to playing one different way, and then just gotta kind of figure that part out and building that chemistry. Now it is a little more fun to figure out the offense part, but I think that defensively, it's just gonna get us all on the same page. I think certain things, and I think I can. What will help me is we have to talk to the coaches and ask them, certain things that, for me that, certain reads like off pick and rolls, on like weak side help, things like that I can get better at, and I know there's like a lot of room for improvement there. So I think it'll kind of be both, and it's important that we focus on both. We can't just focus on one. And obviously, people tend to talk a lot more about offense, which is very, very important, especially nowadays in the NBA. But we have to make sure we figure out both at the same time and get that right, because in defense, there are gonna be games where we might struggle offensively, and good defense is going to give us a chance. And hopefully, once we get to the playoffs, defense is very, very important. I'm sorry, I have a question for you. Did you write a book, There's No Next One, by Jordan?
Yeah, I did. I'm working on one on you. It's just starting, though.
Oh, yeah. That was a great book. I read it. One of my favorites. It's a very good book.
I really like this guy, Kristen.
Yeah,
I saw the name and I remember, so I just wanted to say, but very good book. So
thank you.
we'll have to keep him around, I guess, Sam. All right, we'll take last one from Christos here.
Hello, Nikola. How are you?
how you doing, man?
I'm great. I would like to ask you, despite the result, how's that feeling for you to wear the Bulls uniform tonight? And how you see your partnership with Zach LaVine?
Yeah, obviously the Bulls uniform is very special. I grew up a big Bulls fan because of Jordan, and I was a huge fan of the black jerseys when they came out. So to wear that one tonight was special, and obviously, Bulls are one of the biggest franchises in the NBA, and so it was special for me for sure. And as far as my partnership with Zach, I think it'd be very, very good. I really do. I think that we can play well together. He's a hell of a player. He's had a hell of a season, and once we just figured out together how to work it out on the floor, I think it's going to be very dangerous. Two-man game. Pick and rolls, off handoffs, different things. I mean, he's so versatile. He can score in so many ways, and he's athletic, and he's a willing passer, unselfish, and it's the same. For me, I'm not as athletic as he is, but I think that we can definitely have a good relationship, but not just us two, but the other guys that around. I think it's a good team with a lot of potential, and I think we can go together very well.